Was Sparta the ultimate warrior society, or a chilling experiment that turned humans into weapons? Picture a world where love, choice, and even family are sacrificed for one goal: building an unstoppable army. The Spartans didn't just train soldiers, they engineered them, starting before birth, with a system so brutal it makes dystopian nightmares look tame. If you're hooked on these dark history dives, smash that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment with where you're watching from. I'm curious to see how far this story travels. Let's unravel how Sparta's obsession with perfection created legendary fighters, but destroyed everything else. It all begins in a Spartan bedroom, but not the kind you're thinking of. No romance, no choice, just a cold calculation by faceless elders called the Gerousia. You're a young Spartan, maybe 20, and you've never picked anything for yourself. Not your training, not your friends, definitely not your wife. The magistrates have been watching you since you were a kid, tracking your bloodline like they're breeding racehorses. Your dad's battle record, your grandpa's kills, they don't care about your dreams. They want your genes. Same for the women. Wide hips for childbirth, strong limbs for healthy babies. No dates, no love letters. You're told who you're marrying, often a stranger. The wedding? A staged kidnapping where the bride's head is shaved, dressed in men's clothes, and left in a dark room. You slip in, do what's expected, and leave before dawn. Why the weird ritual? To keep emotions out. Love could make you hesitate in battle, and Sparta can't risk that. You're not a husband, you're a cog in their war machine. But it gets darker. Say you're a proven warrior, but your assigned wife isn't delivering strong kids. Across town, there's a healthier woman, married to someone less impressive. In any other society, tough luck, marriage is sacred. Not in Sparta. The state might order you to sleep with her, openly, no shame, with her husband's nod. This wasn't about desire, it was a breeding program. Strong genes plus strong genes equals strong soldiers. Marriage? Just paperwork. Kids belong to Sparta, not parents. Family bonds were a threat, so they weakened them on purpose. Paternity got murky. Fidelity didn't matter, and the state's grip tightened. Spartan women had more freedom than other Greek women, trained to read, wrestle, throw javelins, but don't call it empowerment. They were livestock, optimized for one job: producing warriors. Their worth? Measured by the sons they birthed. A weak kid brought shame. A hero brought glory. Mothers were drilled to value Sparta over their own flesh and blood. Even telling sons, come back with your shield or on it. One story, maybe true, maybe propaganda, claims a mother killed her son for fleeing battle. That's the mindset Sparta celebrated. Now, imagine you're a newborn, minutes old. You're not cradled by your mom. You're snatched away to face a council of battle-scarred elders. These guys, the Gerousia, aren't cooing over you. They're inspecting you like a product on a line. Straight limbs, strong cry, any flaws? If you pass, you're handed back, assigned land, marked as a future soldier. If you fail, you're carried to Mount Taygetus, to a chasm called the apothetae, the deposits. No quick end, just left to the cold. The wolves, the elements. Spartans didn't see this as motor. They called it quality control. Weakness was a crack in their defense, especially with the helots, enslaved Greeks who outnumbered them 10-1, waiting for any slip. Archaeologists found bones at those cliffs, kids and adults, hinting the stories might be true, even if exaggerated. Either way, the message was clear. You earn the right to live, or you're gone. Survive infancy, and at 7, the state comes for you again. You're torn from home, no tears allowed. Your mom's trained not to cry. You're marched to the agoge, a brutal boot camp that's more like a psychological meat grinder. Your bed? Reeds you cut yourself. Your clothes? One thin tunic, summer or winter. Food? Barely enough to keep you standing. That's deliberate. Hunger teaches you to steal, not as a crime, but as a lesson. Sneak into the city, raid farms, grab food. Get caught, though, and you're whipped until you can't move. Not for stealing, for screwing up. A famous tale. A boy hid a stolen fox under his cloak. It clawed his guts out, but he stood silent, dying rather than admit failure. Spartans loved that story. It showed what they wanted, kids who'd rather die than show weakness. The agoge wasn't just physical, it was a mind game. Older boys, called Erinees, ruled like tyrants. They'd grill you at meals, firing trick questions to trip you up. Hesitate, and you're mocked, beaten, ostracized. Words became weapons. Say too much, and an instructor might bite your thumb to teach you to shut up. That's where laconic comes from. Short, sharp speech, born from fear of punishment. Ever hear the story of Sparta's one-word reply to Philip of Macedon's threat to destroy them? If. That's the agoges. Work. Witty. Brutal. Fearless. But trust? Forget it. Your bunkmate was your rival, waiting to pounce on any slip. Vulnerability was death. By your teens, you're not human. You're a machine, built to kill, built to obey. Then comes the darkest test, the crypteia. The best agoge grads, the most ruthless, were picked for this secret police gig. No armor, just a dagger. Your mission? Stalk the countryside at night, killing helots, not randomly, but the strong ones, the leaders, anyone who might spark a revolt. This wasn't war, it was murder, state-sanctioned and papered over with a yearly declaration of war on the helots. Kill a man in his field, his home, from behind, no glory. If you could do that without flinching, you were ready. You'd erased empathy, fairness, everything human. The crypteia kept the helots terrified and Sparta in control, but it burned something out of you forever. By 30, you're a full Spartan, allowed to live with your wife, sort of. Your home is a soldier factory. You breed, she births, and the cycle restarts. For 3 centuries, this machine churned out warriors who scared the ancient world, crushing Athens in the Peloponnesian War. But it was doomed. First, every dead Spartan was a 30-year investment, lost. Battles like Thermopylae, where 300 died, bled them dry. Their citizen count dropped from 8,000 to under 1,000. Second, the Agagi made conformists, not innovators. When Thebes' Epaminondas smashed their phalanx at Leuctra in 371 BCE with a new tactic, stacking 50 men deep to crush their line, Sparta couldn't adapt. Their king died, 400 warriors fell, and their myth shattered. Third, success poisoned them. Wealth from empire corrupted their equality. Land concentrated, poverty spread, and discipline faded. Why sleep on reeds when you could buy a bed? By Rome's rise, Sparta was a tourist trap. Whipping rituals now a show for rich visitors. What's the takeaway? Sparta built the perfect soldier by destroying the human. They controlled breeding, broke families, and turned kids into killers. It worked, until it didn't. Their obsession with strength left no room for creativity, love, or adaptability. When the world changed, they couldn't. The Spartans vanished, leaving ruins and a warning. Chasing perfection can cost you everything that makes life worth living. So, what do you think? Were they warriors or victims of their own system? Drop your thoughts below, and let's keep digging into history's shadows.